Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, getting ready to sink our teeth into a juicy edition of the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes, a Kentucky Derby prep at Turfway Park, carded as race number 10. Our stakes preview presented by DRF Bets, a tasty offer for DRF Bets signups, a $150 bonus at drf.com/join, promo code TV150. Let's take a look at this field of 3-year-olds. We're going to hope to trim the fat a little bit as we head down on the road to Kentucky. I'm on point today, Mike Beer.
Got any more? Are we done? Let's move on. Nicely done, though. That's something that I could never have done. Let's start out by saying this. Here's the field. What do we got? 12 in here.
We've got 12 in here. Co-5-1 morning line favorites.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I really have no idea who's going to win this race.
You've got Todd Pletcher, you've got Michael Maker, who's done very, very well over the years, but you get a feeling that with a lot of these horses, these horsemen are just simply taking a shot, especially Pletcher. He's got 2 in here. One of the morning line favorites is the number 7, Hazit, who achieved some fame in his career debut at Saratoga by wiring eventual Breeders' Cup winner Good Magic. But after that, things just haven't gone well. A bit of a disappointing loss last time out in his 3-year-old debut, going 7 furlongs. Warfront, though, known as a turf sire, gets 16% winners with synthetics. The Dam was a Grade 3 winner on dirt, a stakes winner on synth. So if you believe in synth pedigree, has it. We have the Timeform US pace projector as well. We're expecting Hazit to be out there on or close to the lead, sitting second off of Mugaritz. I'm worried about the distance.
I guess I'm a little worried about this. 9 furlongs really could push it for this horse. It's funny because I think he looks a little more disappointing on paper, I think, than he actually has been in his career. His debut was obviously fine. There was nothing wrong with the way he ran there. I'll give him a big pass for the Champagne, man. I mean, that was a fast pace. He was right up there pressing it the entire way. And it's not like he totally collapsed in the stretch. I mean, he actually ran fine in the Champagne. You know, I won't be too hard on him for the Breeders' Cup. He's a Todd Pletcher, Johnny Velasquez horse in the Breeders' Cup, and he's 50-1. I don't think he was supposed to win there. Maybe he should have won last time. The horse that beat him, Just Holic, is not a bad horse, and it's not like this horse again. It's not like he totally collapsed in the stretch. He just got outfinished by a horse who ran better than he did. I could make a case for him if I wanted to, I think, but the question is, do you want to make a case for him? Because he can't be that great a price in this race.
Here's the Todd Pletcher formulator fact for Hazit. And you don't think about Todd winning races on synthetic, but over the past 5 years, 3-year-olds moving from dirt to synthetic, 39%, $3 ROI. That move worked when Pletcher won this race in 2014 with We Miss Artie. Hazit's going to be forward. We saw on the Timeform projector that Mugaritz, the number 6, a horse coming in from Northern California, has gotten big speed. And the Timeform US pace ratings for those were in the big red, 155-ish. And we looked at his race in the Cal Derby where he was rated off for the pace, and we said, Mugaritz is probably at his best when he's on the lead. He just simply went too fast last time out. He might be the horse you want to take out of that race.
Yeah, he might be. And, you know, this is the kind of, we'll see, you know, if the pace is fast, as the pace projector thinks it's going to be, that might not help this horse. And listen, we already talked about Hazit, who I think is going to be forward in here. There's other speed in this race, so he might have to work even a little bit too hard in this race. But he ran pretty well last time in the El Camino Real.
The other horse coming out of the El Camino Real is the number 8, Blended Citizen. That horse kind of ran in spots. He was in between horses. He was really asked for run and under the whip on the turn, and then he came with a little bit of a run late. He's green. They're putting blinkers on, maybe to get him focused and straightened out. His buyers are going the right way, and at least he has that race at 1 1/8 miles.
Yeah, he does have that, and he ran fine in that race. I'm sort of with you. Maybe he was running in spots in that race. Overall, the race set up pretty well for him, and he got up for 3rd in there. I think he'll have to do better than that in this field, but it's not like he isn't one of the contenders in here. This is a wide open race.
Let's talk about 2 of the better bred horses in this race. The number 11 is Ride a Comet. This is a half-brother to Taprit. He's won his last 2 races. He is won on dirt. He is won on turf. He's going to try to do it on synthetic. I do like his tactical gear, and he's paired up Beyer Tops in his last 2 races. He wouldn't be a surprise. 5-1 on the morning line, though, is a little bit light.
Yeah, he's one of the co-favorites. I don't know that I would be taking him, especially from post 11 in here, but you're right. His last 2 races are improvements. 1 in the slop, 1 on turf. Maybe he'll handle the synthetic too. I wouldn't want to go too short on him, but I get why people might like him in here.
He's a half to a classic winner. The 3 Archiegelos is a half to Big Brown. This is a horse that looked good winning the Grade 3 Gray Stakes 2 starts back. I'm interested in your take on that race. I thought he got a really nice trip tracking the pace towards the inside, split horses while Peppered, the runner-up, took the long way around. And I wonder if Peppered might have been best with if you reverse the trips.
Right.
The display was a bit of a disappointment, but a great trainer, Michael Dickinson, has given him time off. And if you think any of these trainers can get one ready to go 9 off the bench, it's probably Dickinson.
It probably is, and he did run a 76 as a 2-year-old, so you have that kind of a figure to build upon in here. He could easily get as fast as he needs to get to win this race. I'm sort of with you. First of all, I was very disappointed in his last race, and I think I'm with you on the Gray Stakes. He ran fine in there. I'll give him a little bit of extra credit for splitting horses because it was a little tight for him, but ultimately the trip was great and he did get through. And once he got through, you know, he did what he had to do in that race. I thought he ran fine. We'll see if he takes a step forward in his 3-year-old debut.
Pletcher sends out Hazard, who's probably going to take a lot of money, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pony Up's the better of the 2 Pletcher trained horses on this surface. They tried him in the Holy Bull against Audible and Free Drop Billy, and it's apparent right now that he's just a better horse on the turf. He gave Flame Away a little bit of a scare 2 starts back in the Kitten's Joy. And in the Holy Bull, I mean, he finished right behind Enticed. His Holy Bull wasn't awful.
No,
Enticed came back to win the Gotham with a 95 buyer. But something tells me this horse is going to take some sneaky money.
I think he will take money in this race. I think he should take money in this race. If you know, I almost made him my top pick in here. I wonder what kind of price he'll be. But to me, he's just one of those horses in a race where I found this race to be very confusing. For one thing for sure, he's one of the horses I want to use in this race. I just think he's going to run well in here, getting over to this surface in a race with some pace. He's going to have something to run at in the stretch, and I actually think he's pretty good.
A colt looking for pace is the One Sky Promise because he has no speed whatsoever, and he's probably going to be last in the early portion. He got pace in the local prep, the Battaglia. He came with a strong late run. It's his second back for Ken McPeak. Here's a formulator fact for McPeak, who historically does well over a synthetic surface. Past 5 years, 3-year-old synthetic router, second off the layoff. This angle has worked for Java's War in the Bluegrass, Rosalind in the Ashland, Wonderment in the Bourbonnette Oaks. So it's done well, but with this horse's running style, even with the fast pace, he needs racing luck.
Yeah, he does. He has a lot working against him. I like that he, you know, took the step forward last time. I'll take exception with the short comment flying late. I don't think he was flying late in there. And if you told me I could only have one horse out of the local prep, the Battaglia, I'm taking the winner of that race, Magical Meister. I just think he ran the best race in there. Really,
all that was going against Magical Meister going into the Battaglia was he was slow going in. He's not slow anymore. He ran an 81 buyer speed figure. The pace was fast. Horses like Arawak, who we'll get to in a minute, and Sky Primus came from well back. This horse was within range on the turn, and I like the way he finished it off. He's 12-1 on the line. With these big name trainers coming in, he's got to get lost in the shuffle again.
I think he's probably the price to get him, and he paid $80, over $80 when he won the last one, but it's not like he's going to be some kind of short price in this race. And again, I think he ran really well last time. He's very lightly raced. I don't see any reason why he couldn't just come right back and run another good one in here. I think he's a huge contender.
Arawak was the beaten favorite in the Battaglia. He did get the pace set up. Could you make the argument he was a bit of a short horse in his first start of the layoff and can improve? I have concerns about the mile and 1/8. I have major concerns about this post.
Yeah, me too. He did not get a great post in this race, and he's just one of those horses who, it's not like he's as lightly raced as Magical Meister is either. I mean, we've seen enough of him now. You know, how much more do you think he's going to improve, especially from post 12? And he was away from that pace last time. Yeah, he got a wide trip in that race, but he was away from the pace, and he never really looked like he was going to win. He just has to improve a lot to win this, I think.
Things to like about the 9 Dreamers Point. Preakness winner Shackelford has done surprisingly well in synthetic. 28% winners with foals on a synthetic surface. And in his last race, he was in against Magnum Moon, a horse that's going to take a lot of money and is a good 3-year-old for Todd Pletcher. That horse is going to be in the Rebel. Here's the negative, though, for Dreamer's Point. His trainer, Ian Wilkes, over the past 5 years, moving from dirt to synthetic, is 0 for 23. Plus, it appears that this horse, at least with his recent running style, likes to be close.
Yeah.
I think Chris Landero is going to take him back.
Got to take him off the pace in this race and see if he can just move up on synthetic. You know, it's funny. His form overall isn't that great, but he has been improving from start to start, and these Shacklefords on synthetic, I mean, it's almost crazy how many races they win. This horse has a real chance to step forward in this race.
Don't sleep on Michael Maker in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, no matter what the name of the race is, if it's the Lane's End, if it's the Spiral, if it's the Jim Beam, if it's the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Cash Call Kitten is 2 for 2. Maybe he looks a little bit class compromised, but he has looked good in both of his races at Gulfstream on the turf. He gets a nice inside post position and the proper race flow.
Yeah, and the right trainer and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, I won't knock him too much. I wanted to like his first 2 races more than I actually like them. But it is Maker from a really good post in a race where he's going to have some pace to run at, and he's a good price on the morning line, so I'm not going to knock him.
Let's take a look at our top selections in here, because Mike, I think you landed on a really fascinating one. That's the 10 Zanesville at 12-1 on the morning line, by the long-winded Tisnow.
Yeah, he's got to stretch out in this race, which I think could be a little problem for him, but he did win the first time they stretched him out over that sloppy track at Fairgrounds, and I liked that effort from him. His start after that, I didn't think he got a great trip at all in that first race at Delta Downs, which is a 2-turn 7 furlongs. He got a better trip last time, but he also won really easily. He's got that sort of grinding running style where it just feels like he'll go all day long. So I'm hoping that he will get the distance. He can fall into a good trip in this race. He's obviously going to be a price. It feels like he has to be a price. I like that Tommy Amos sent him over here and worked him a couple times over the synthetic just to see what would happen. And it looks like he worked pretty well on it. You know, as far as his pedigree goes, he is a Tisnow who he should be able to get to 9 furlongs. His dam is an unraced sister to Stardom Bound. Stardom Bound was one of the, I mean, back when California was running on a synthetic, all she did was win grade 1 races. I mean, she won every grade 1 race for fillies on that synthetic track out there. So maybe he'll like the synthetic at a price and get a good trip.
Lots of good nuggets there on your top pick, the 10 Zanesville. You're going 10, 4, 5, and 3. I usually don't like playing horses that just paid $80 to win. But Magical Meister, I agree with you. If I have to take someone out of the Battaglia and I know this horse will handle the surface, it'll be Magical Meister, who's probably going to get a similar pace situation this time around. He'll be my top pick. I'm a little interested in Blended Citizen with the blinkers. I know he's a bit goofy, but I do like the 1 1/8 foundation, and I like the fact that he's going to get another pace set up. I think maybe Hazard can hang around for a piece, although I'm really curious to see what kind of horse he's going to be down the road. This is a great betting race, the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes. Approximate post time is 6 o'clock. Again, if you're playing from home, please do so with DRF Bets. $150 sign-up bonus, drf.com/join. Please use the promo code TV150. Big afternoon of racing at Turfway Park on Saturday. Enjoy.